So, when was the last time you spoke up? A little black girl stands in the corner of a playground, head hung low, fidgeting with the zipper on her coat, lost in thought. No one looks at her. No one plays with her. Her mother, her concerned mother, watches her through the school gates. I was that little black girl, and that woman was my mother. I was an extremely shy child. You wouldn't believe it now because I don't shut up, but in class I would sit hunched at my desk trying to be invisible. I was so shy I couldn't speak to anyone in my class. I had no friends. I was alone. Whenever the teacher asked me a question, I would stay silent, even though I knew the answer to the questions. I had a voice. Yes, I had a voice inside my head, but I couldn't use it. And I didn't understand why. At home, I felt safe. With my family, I was always performing, singing, dancing, and just having a laugh. My mum could see this, but she grew worried because at school, I was a completely different person. I can still hear her concerned voice in the back of my head. Moyo, why are you not like this at school? Why are you not talking? Why are you so quiet? What is wrong? Back then, I was struggling with my identity. So there I was, the little black girl, the only little black girl, looking around the classroom at all the faces, the same faces. But there's no one like me. My mum signed me up to a drama class, hoping it would bring me out of my shell. Of course, she knew behind closed doors her child had a lot to say. The first few months was a real struggle, opening up and connecting with the other children. The biggest challenge was when I had to sing in front of an audience. I stepped onto the stage, heart pounding, hands shaking. I stare into the audience. A sea of eyes stare back. I don't see any familiar faces. Are my family here? I'm bricking it. Up here, I thought I'd feel like Mel B, Scary Spice from the Spice Girls. Well, she was meant to be the fearless one. How wrong was I? My heart pounds faster, so I look up, but the lights are blinding. I close my eyes. All I'm thinking is, am I good enough? How am I going to do this? What if they laugh at me? The audience is silent. The pianist begins to play the intro to my song, but I go completely blank. I can't seem to remember the words to the song. The fear is here and it is real, and I am scared, so scared. I just want to disappear, but the pianist is playing the intro again and again and again. Then something takes over me. I feel like I'm standing outside of my body. Inside, I'm a mess. But I have to make a decision. I take a deep breath. And I don't need you to love me. I don't need you to love. I I got. What just happened? I open my eyes and sing to the audience, growing confident every second, singing louder than I've ever sung before. I am finally using my voice and I am loving it. This moment defined my childhood. I conquered my fears and I found my voice. So, here I am today, a daughter, sister, friend, a confident and empowered tall black woman, no longer a little black girl, who has found her voice. I'm an actor, producer and filmmaker. I've worked in the industry for over 12 years now, recently appearing in the BAFTA-nominated television series Guilt and the BAFTA-winning primetime series The Cry. I have worked in theatres across Britain with Olivier and Tony award-winning directors. I've spoken at panels, on events, on podcasts, been featured in national newspapers, magazines and on radio. But today, what I'm most proud of is being the co-founder of my film production company called Lucid Dreamers Productions, working alongside my beautiful and talented sister, Moyo Akande. Together, we create international content and tell diverse stories from a fresh perspective. The stories we create give a voice to the people of colour from the past and present who need to be acknowledged and celebrated. Today, I'm using my voice to speak up about why education is key to tackling racism in Scotland and the UK, and why it affects people of colour working within the film and television industry. As an adult, I can still get scared using my voice to talk about the issues that matter to me because of the consequences I may face. I am overcoming those fears. I'm learning to speak my truth every day and be part of the solution. Fear doesn't discriminate. It affects us all and it manifests itself in different ways. I fear being a fearless black woman in 2020. I fear being put down and silenced if I speak up. But if I don't speak up and stand up for what I believe in, then who am I? If I could go back and give my younger self any advice, is speak up. Speak your truth. When it matters to you, when you witness something that you strongly disagree with, and about the issues that are important to you. I really struggled to do this early on in life. But now I know how powerful a tool using your voice can be. But it takes practice and courage. My mum is my rock. Without her, I wouldn't be standing on this stage today. She's played a huge role in shaping how I think and how I navigate the world. Life is so simple. If only we make it simple. She tells me this whenever I worry about the future or if I'm struggling with making important decisions in my life. In the early 80s, my mum left Nigeria and travelled to the UK to start a new life with my dad. It was a very turbulent time. She was very vocal and was never afraid to speak up when she was being disrespected for simply being a black woman. But she did it with absolute grace. My mum's only 5 foot tall, by the way, but she was always much taller to me. I don't know how she squeezed me out. But she managed to overcome many obstacles and challenges whilst facing adversity And she did it fearlessly. And as the years go by, I find myself becoming more and more like her. For example, I'm not fearful of doing things like asking for a promotion at work. It's probably the Scottish and Nigerian blood that runs deep in my veins. We've got a go-getter attitude to life. However, I do understand how others might see doing something like this as terrifying. I understand there's a real fear of being seen as confrontational if you speak up and ask for what you deserve. So, what I believe is fear of failing is what stops us being fearless. I believe being fearless has everything to do with the human mind and how we think. Of course, our social, cultural, and religious backgrounds all play a huge role in programming our minds and telling us what we can and can't do. It takes a lot of strength, real strength, to do the things that scare or challenge us. I said it before, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, courage, and a positive mindset. The brain is a muscle, so if we can keep retraining the mind, then over time, like an athlete, it just becomes second nature. So why conform? Challenge yourself. Do something out of the ordinary and go against the grain that society has already mapped out for you. Now, in all honesty, if I had to choose 3 words to describe myself, fearless probably isn't the first word that springs to mind. In fact, when I was invited to be a part of TEDxCumbernauldWomen and was told the theme this year would be fearless, well, initially I was flattered and surprised, which quickly turned to confusion. Then the confusion turned to me being downright terrified when it finally dawned on me the magnitude of the task I was being asked to do. Basically, I was suffering from imposter syndrome and that dreaded fear of failing. I didn't say yes right away. I had to go away and think about taking part. But deep down, if I was being really honest with myself, I knew telling myself I was busy was just an excuse to finding a way out of taking part in this amazing conference. I sat myself down and reflected. This is an incredible opportunity. Why are you doubting yourself? Just do it. Just go for it. Just go for it. I've spent a long time growing, spiritually, personally, and professionally. I don't like dwelling in the past. I've always been a true believer in staying in the present. So, I admit, I've often forgotten the important, pivotal moments that have changed me and shaped me into the woman I am today. And what I began to realise while preparing this speech is, at the core of every obstacle I've ever had to overcome, I wouldn't have been able to get there without being exactly what the theme of this conference is about: fearless. So I ask you, are you ready to speak up?